In this video, we're going to be going over the 5 core functions of business. This is not Anton original content. This is initially from Tony Robbins, his business mastery events coaches on these things. And then there's Alex Sharfin, who has reproduced this, and I then learned it from Alex Sharfin. And ignore the old branding. I promise you, by the time you see this video, I will have a new document with new branding on it. This is an old agency I built. Anyway, client quarterly check-in is the way that I used to do this working with clients. I've found that when I've done this exercise in my own business, it's given me great clarity into what needed to change. And here's an example of it. I did this with a team recently, the clinic team. I do it with the clinic team all the time. We would get all the team leads together and we would go through all these things. But lead gen, you would score yourself 1 through 5 based on these different answers. We'd read the answers out loud and then we'd score ourselves on them. So it looks like in the month of April 2021, we were consistently getting a large amount of new high quality leads at a reasonable cost. It looks like in April, we felt like we were doing really well with lead gen. And then lead nurture, we weren't doing so well. Conversion, we were doing okay. Delivery, retention, we were doing really well. Referrals, testimonials, doing really well. What can you really get upset about here? Upsell, resell, force. So we just wanted to close more deals. And we made some changes to do that. This is like recommendation notes. So rough outline of how you go through this. If you're going to do this monthly, I strongly recommend it. In our monthly one-on-ones with your team, we'll be going through these. We'll be grading ourselves. If we have quarterly meetings, we'll be going through these and grading ourselves in the practice. And I strongly encourage you to run these meetings on your own. But here's roughly how it goes. You'll go through each section and you'll grade yourself in them. So lead generation, 1 through 5, you read them all out loud and you pick a number subjectively on where you feel like you're at. After you've subjectively gone through, you'll go through and type in the KPI that's correlated to that metric, to that one function of business. So for lead generation, the KPI that's correlated to that is cost per lead. That's your objective answer. So you want to be able to compare month over month subjectively how you feel like you're doing and objectively how you are actually doing. And for each of these different functions, there's a KPI associated to them. So you would go through number 1 and you would say, this is how I feel like I'm at, and this is where I'm objectively at. So for us, this month, we felt like we were at a 5, and we had some numbers to back it up. And then the next month, we compared it again back to this and how we were doing. And the month before, we had numbers for that too. And then we got to lead nurture, and we graded ourselves there. So we said that we were a 2. We have some systems in place to nurture leads, but they're inconsistent. And we judge that based off our attendance rate. Here, the KPIs down here. Percent of people who show up to consultation compared to percent of people who showed up to first appointment. So it's 2 different numbers. And your lead nurture affects both of them. From the total amount of leads, you want to know how many people scheduled an appointment and how many of them showed up to their appointment. And then if you do like a 2-call process, how many of them, or like a 2-step sales process, how many of them show up to the second consultation or appointment also. So your attendance rate shows how well your lead nurture is doing. And ours wasn't that good. 62% the first call, not great. Second call, 72%, not great. And we had some action items on what we needed to do. Look, we had notes here about what we needed to do, notes here about what we needed to do. We had 2 different media buyers at that time. So we were spending about $500 a day, $15,000 a month. So as we keep going, we subjectively graded ourselves. We felt like we weren't doing well, and we objectively graded. Oh, look, last month we compared it month over month, how we did the month previous. So we made lead gen a lot better that month, but lead nurture was down. Conversion was down. So as we keep going through, conversion, many of the new leads are paying for treatment/programs. We said we were a 3. So that would have been, we are consistently improving the amount of leads, paying for treatment programs, and we are bringing in mostly your ideal client/patient. So again, you're going to go through these, read them aloud, and subjectively decide as a team which one of these stages you feel like you're in. And then you're going to objectively look at the KPI for that and figure out how well you're converting using the math here. People who buy, you want to know your conversion rate attended, and then you want to know, yeah, exactly that. It's just really only one way to figure out that math. And it looks like we said we were closing at 25% and we wanted to get to 34%. I think that was the goal. And as we keep going through, you've got delivery. Some clients this will apply to, some this will not. I did it based off deadlines missed, but you can do it based off overall patient satisfaction. A majority of our clients are seeing a difference in results with our treatments and leave the office satisfied and refer. Trailing indicator there is refer, which we'll get to. And then grade yourself subjectively. How happy are your clients leaving the clinic? Ours was 5. People were pretty happy with us. Secret shops were doing well. Upsell, resell. Let's see here. We said we were 5. We weren't churning a ton. We had a 96% attendance rate. It's pretty good. Business is growing month over month. So grade yourselves. You want to know if your clients come back for other services. How many of them? Half of our clients come back. A few of our clients come back. Grade yourselves subjectively, and then come down here and look at objectively how many you actually do. And then there's the most trailing indicator of all, testimonials and referrals. Grade yourselves subjectively on how you feel like you're doing, how many testimonials, how many referrals you're getting, and then objectively go down to see how many you actually got and do the math and figure out what it is. So to get a lot of these KPIs here, you'll have to use the practice tracking sheet, and you'll have to be comfortable using high level to get the data that you need, which you should be able to do using the reporting training in the Go High Level Training module. So when we meet monthly and quarterly to go over your practice growth and we have our consulting calls together, this is what I want to know. I want to know subjectively how well you're grading yourselves in these 5 core areas, and then objectively, like, what's the math? Show me the numbers on your actual KPIs here so we can make an educated and sophisticated business decision on what you need to do to get your practice to the next level and which areas we can improve about the way that we feel about the results and which areas we can improve about getting the actual number to move the needle. Talk soon.